Hey everyone, Miss Jack here, and today we're going to talk about counting atoms. So go ahead and get out your notebooks or whatever you're going to write with, and write with me the title, Counting Atoms. All right, here we go. Well, first we're going to start with the chemical formula, one that we've seen before. Probably. H2O, have you seen it before? Okay, that's just our typical water. Well, H2O is actually telling us the chemical formula. It tells us the elements and the atoms that are in there. But how? Well, first you start with an EA chart. What is an EA chart? It's going to be our elements and our atoms. Okay, so when we think of counting atoms, we got to think of EA chart. It's in the name because it's in the name of our chemical formula. So we have our elements on one side, atoms on the other. Every time we're going to count atoms, this is what we're going to start with. That's our first step. Our second step is going to be to list our elements. So elements, if you remember your periodic tables, your elements start with a capital letter. Every one, their chemical symbol is either one capital letter, and if it has a lowercase, it's going to be right next to it. So right here, we're going to count or list our capital letters. Our first is H, our next is O. Now our next step, we're going to list our subscripts. So this number right here is called a subscript. Can you say that with me? Subscript. I think of it like a submarine. It's down below. So for our H, we're going to write a number 2 for our atoms. Now the O doesn't even have one. So what do we do? Well, if it was 0, we had none at all, then it wouldn't be there, right? So because we have it there, that means we have at least 1. So no subscript means that there is 1. So I'm going to make a note, add a 1 if no number or no subscript. Okay, so for O, we're just going to put a 1. And right now, that's all we have to do. Last step, you're going to total it out. So how many total elements do we have? And how many total atoms do we have? Exactly. So we have 2 elements in H2O and 3 total atoms. That one was easy, right? Let's try a harder one. So go ahead, underneath that, we're going to write our next chemical formula. And that's going to be, let's see, we'll start with another easy one. And try to do this one by yourself first. So what is the first step we start with? EA chart. It's in the name. EA chart. Okay. Next step is list the elements. Capital letter. Next capital letter. And then our, no number. What do? Add a 1. Now, so how many C's do we have or carbons? 1. And H's or hydrogens? 4. Last step, total it out. Total elements is 2, total atoms is 5. Good job. Okay, we're going to do a one that's a little bit more tricky, but I'm going to walk you through it so you know exactly what to do. Here we go. Al2SO4 parentheses 3. Dun dun dun. Okay. Same thing. First step is EA chart. Next step, we are going to list the elements. So here we have a capital letter. Now what is this? Now typically if you have a capital I, it's going to look like this with the little bars on top and bottom. If you have a lowercase I, it's going to look like that. So when you have a straight line like this, that is typically capital L, lowercase l. So right here, our lowercase, remember, goes with the capital. So we're going to put A and the lowercase because they go together. That's one element. Remember, there's no element that starts with the lowercase. They always start with the capital. So AL, what's our next capital letter? S, and the next one is O. Okay. Subscript 2 S. Oh no, there's not one, so we have to add a 1 for now. The parentheses, what do? If you remember in math, when you see parentheses, you typically multiply. So right here, we're going to multiply the 3 to everything that's inside the parentheses only. Whatever's outside the parentheses, we do not multiply. So we're going to add a times 3 to our S and our O. Now, how many S's do we have? How many O's? Bring over the 2. How many total elements? Total it out. Last step. 3 and 17 atoms. Good job. Not so bad, right? Okay, let's try one more. Then I think you're going to be ready to go and you can rock counting atoms no matter what you are given. Okay, next. SR3 PO4 parentheses 2. Okay, first step, what do we do? EA chart. Next step, capital letters. Remember, lowercase goes with the capital. PO, SR, subscripts next. Uh-oh, none. Add 1, 4. What do we do with the 2? Multiply. What are we going to multiply again? What's inside the parentheses. So times 2, 1 times 2, 4 times 2. Bring over the 3, total it out. 3 elements and how many atoms? Good job. Okay, there is one more thing. I'll go ahead and do it with this one. Okay, so if there might be a number in the very front. Now, if there's a number right here, so right now there's no number, so that means there's 1 of this entire chemical formula. If we add a 2, then that means there's 2 of these. So what do we do here? We would just multiply everything by 2. So now our atoms change. Now we have how many SR? 3 times 2, 2 times 2, 8 times 2. So now how many total atoms would we have? $26 instead of just our 13. All right, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.